It's like throwing wood in the fireplace. The same thing can be said for human life on this planet. We are no different than pieces of wood in the fireplace. For the wood serves the purpose for keeping the flames going. No different than humans. We are nothing but pieces of wood to keep the flame going. The flame being a metaphor for the trials and the tribulations that we go through, the suffering, the pain. Fire, it consumes everything. Fire feeds off of oxygen. Just like humans, we need oxygen to live. We consume the air supply, just like a flame of fire consumes the air supply. So we are no different. And just like the wood, we are being ate alive, consumed by the flame. We reap what we sow. It's a universal principle that you reap what you sow. The harvester, he reaps the wood. The wood is thrown into the fireplace. The fire consumes the wood. And the air supply. So because we consume the air supply, in return, we inherit the flame, or we become the flame, because we are in the karmic cycle of reaping what you sow. Because we breathe, we turn ourselves into a flame. Because we inhale, that says everything. Every time you draw air into your nostrils, you become a flame. And flames burn. Put your hand in a flame of fire and tell me how it feels. It burns. It doesn't feel good. Just like life, it doesn't feel good. We pretend that it feels good. We perpetrate like it feels good. We do whatever we can to take our mind off of the fact that we are burning flames. So what do? We watch television. We tune in to radio programs. We do whatever. Even clicking on the left side of the brain channel. We do whatever we have to soothe the flame. And each pastime that we partake in, it's equivalent to a rubbing ointment that you would apply to any burn just to soothe the pain. All forms of entertainment is nothing but a rubbing ointment to soothe the pain. Boredom, you know what boredom is? Boredom is when your mind realizes that you are trapped in solitary confinement. So to escape the solitary confinement, you partake in a pastime, which is nothing but a rubbing ointment. So when the medication wears off, you're looking for your next drug. Oh, now I want to go ride a bike. When the medication of the rubbing ointment of riding the bike, when that wears away, you want to do something else. Oh, now I want to have sex. When the joy of sex goes away, once you have your orgasm, the rubbing ointment wears off once again. Oh, now I want to watch television. It's no different than taking pain medication each hour upon hour. Because once the medication wears off, the pain comes back. The pain that I'm speaking about is the boredom. The realizing that you are in solitary confinement. Boredom makes you shriek in agony and despair. You get to the point where you just start biting your fingernails. You become so bored in solitary confinement. You start pulling your hair, each follicle. You start pulling away at each one of your hair follicles. Some people, they start slashing their skin with razors. Because you can't take the fact that sitting still, the reality sets in. The reality that you are trapped in prison. So what do? You tell yourself, no, this is not true. I don't want to believe what he's saying. It's not true. No. What he's saying is not true. This is negative. No. Having kids is okay. No, I don't want to believe. No. This nightmare cannot be real. What left side of the brain is saying, no, this is not true. That's what you tell yourself. How can this be true? No, you don't want to wake up in the middle of the nightmare and then realize that the nightmare is inescapable. So you tell yourself that it's not true. You don't want to believe that you are in solitary confinement. You are burning because you are breathing. The air supply is what keeps the fire going. With no oxygen, there can be no flame. And with no flame, there can be no torment. So as long as you are inhaling, you are feeding the fire. You are adding fuel to the flame. Let's take it deeper. The sun in the sky. It's a ball of fire. But what relevance does the sun have if it's not for you? If it wasn't for you, it has no relevance. You see, taste, touch, hear, see, and smell, consciousness, it all revolves around you. As long as you are intaking the air supply, you are creating your own hell because you continue to breathe. You are the breathing flame of fire. That's why you have a body temperature. The average human body temperature is 98.6 degrees. Where do you think that heat is coming from? That's right, the air supply. Because flames need oxygen to live. Look at a flame. When you see that flame flickering, you know what that flame is actually doing? It's breathing. That flickering of the flame is a metaphor for your lungs. When your lungs inhale and exhale, it's breathing in and it's breathing out, just like the flame. The flame is flickering because it's breathing. What is the purpose of the flame? To intake the air supply. A flame will burn as long as it has air supply. Just like you will live as long as you have air supply. You will be a flame as long as you have air supply. No air supply, no flame. No flame, no torment. As long as you have air supply, as long as you breathe, there will be torment. Acceptance is when you come one with the realization that reality is inescapable. You can't escape reality. You can live a lie all your life. But one thing about lies, they have to change from day to day because this life is a lie. That's why every day it has to change. The calendar, the schedule, your job detail, the different patterns of things. It doesn't change in the sense of you're not going to have to get up to go to work in the morning. But it changes in the sense of when you get in your car and you crank it up this morning, you're going to ride down the same street to get to work. But it will be a different series of cars on the street. You pull out your driveway, instead of a red van coming down the street before you can make that right turn, the next morning it will be a green Volkswagen sedan that you must wait for before you make that right turn. But regardless, it's the same scenario. Just tweaked a little. They just add a little scenery here and there. That's what I'm getting at. The illusion, it changes, but it's still one illusion. But the reality of the situation is the only thing that you can't escape. You can't escape reality. You can escape one illusion and figure it out. Oh, this is an illusion. Work is an illusion. Okay, I figured that out. Okay, what else? Love is an illusion. Okay, I figured that out. See, once you figure out one illusion, they'll throw another illusion at you. And your purpose is driven by the illusion. Each illusion represents a piece of wood that your energy must consume to give the illusion life. You must burn energy. Like when you work, you burn calories. So you on a treadmill, burning calories, going through each illusion, while the illusion is sitting back laughing because you are making it real, not even knowing it. You're sweating, you're doing things, not realizing you just a flame, consuming the air supply, a victim of your own imagination. We are all victims of our own imagination, getting high off of the air supply. But once you realize it, you realize that the reality is inescapable. So you escape the prison of the illusion just to enter another prison called reality. You can't escape reality, but you can escape the illusion. Let me rewind. You figured out the illusion just to find yourself in solitary confinement called reality. Now you get it? I know you Jaguars get it. You can't escape reality. Reality is also a prison. And once you become one with reality, reality is no longer a prison. I know that sounds kind of tricky, yeah. See, reality, the solitary confinement, is a prison when you feel like, I have to be doing something. No, this can't be it. It's only feeling like despair and misery because you are fighting the reality. Once you become one with the reality, it's no longer a fight. You become the perfect still. You're no longer questioning. I was thinking to myself, is there a thing where you can think too much. Then I said, can you think too little? I mean, thinking too much, thinking too little. It balances out the same. Thinking too much means you asking questions, you figured out the illusion. Now you are in solitary confinement. Now you might say, I'm thinking too little now. It's like space and empty space. Space full of planets and stars versus the space of emptiness. You got so much to think about. And then on the other polar opposite, you have so much not to think about. So either way, your mind is occupied with something, either emptiness or a bunch of cyber junk, cyber trash that you have to shift your way through for all eternity, or you can just sit still in the solitary confinement that I spoke of, coming in unity with the fact that this is it. And then you're no longer feeling the despair of being in solitary confinement. You can breathe, or you can stop breathing and just end the flame. Because as long as you are breathing, you are feeding the flame. As long as you have a flame going, you're going to constantly be consuming the air supply around you. So by consuming the air supply, you are giving the purposeless life a purpose, which is breathing, inhaling and exhaling, like a flame. A flame can burn forever if it has an air supply. What am I getting at? Everything you need to know about existence is in a flame. That's why they say the eternal flame. So existence boils down to air supply, consuming. You consume, constantly consuming, the sum total of everything. Consuming air supply like a flame until you decide to stop consuming the air supply. Though it may sound complicated throughout the duration of this video, it's not complicated. You might have to rewind this back and listen to it again, but it's the sum total of the existence of your life and what it means. Okay, let me rewind it and you don't believe me? Okay, you don't believe me. If a comet hit the earth right now, the sum total of everything thing will turn into exactly what I am saying. Everything would just explode, and it would turn into a big ball of fire, and all existence will turn into fire consuming air supply, a flame, a fire. Okay, you still don't believe me. You don't believe me. Right now, the earth tectonic plates are floating on lava. Ready to explode at any moment. You still don't believe me. We are nothing but a flame waiting to happen. Every one of us, we are a flame of fire waiting to see the explosion of everything, because everything boils down to a flame consuming the oxygen that's around it. That's what it boils down to. We 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 use it in our slang and our terminology. When a person, what did they call it when you get fired off of your job? Or we say that person is heated. When you upset, I'm heated. Because it all boils down to air supply and us consuming the air supply, which gives us that 98.6 degrees, that fire, and everything we go through in this life. We just consume one another, because that's what a fire does. We have the same characteristics of a flame. We burn up everything we touch. Like a forest fire, it encroaches upon territory after territory after territory, just like how man lives on this planet. Wars break out, and we encroach upon territory, just like a forest fire takes over acres and acres of land. That's what man does. Man is a wild forest fire, encroaching upon the lands of other people, a raging fire that has been engulfing this entire world since we've been here. And it doesn't stop. And that's why I started out from the outset. I used the analogy of fire because we are the logs in the fireplace that keeps this consuming, this constant flame. A flame will burn and burn and burn as long as you give it wood in the fireplace. So we are pieces of wood in this fireplace, and we inhale the air supply. So in turn, we are flames of fire. Hence, I say, don't have kids, because it's like throwing a piece of firewood in the fireplace. And just like that red light, we just keep the flame going and going and going and going. This is just We live in a furnace. And until you accept that reality, then your reality will be an illusion. I don't want that type of reality for me. Yeah, an illusion is also a reality for some people. But I have made it upon myself that I am water versus the fire. Us represents the water to put out the fire. I'm a firefighter. So you can live in a reality of illusion, or you can live in reality of coming in one with the solitary confinement and understanding that this is it. I either keep the flame going or I just finish it and just no longer need the air supply. Because ultimately, you don't want to live your entire life needing to depend upon air supply. You didn't know I was pointing to a bigger reality during this video, did you? There is a source of life above the air supply. It's many names for it. I like to call it the essence of the spirit. The spirit breathes another form of air. This lower body, it breathes oxygen. There is a higher air, and it's known as prana. But that's for another video. That's for another time. I just want you to think about that. Choose which reality you will live in, the illusion or it's the solitary confinement. It's two realities. You choose. Think about that. This is Left Side of the Brain, signing out.